Hello, and welcome to the Building Business Podcast, powered by the Mount Pleasant Chamber of Commerce. We are here today recording in the studio at Charleston Media Solutions. They are a huge supporter of the Chamber. We love coming in here and hanging out in the studio. My name is Kathy Herman. I am the immediate past president of the Chamber, and I am marketing director at Mount Pleasant Town Center. So I would like to welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm joined here by my guest co-host, one of my favorites. I say that every time, right?
Oh,
I say,
maybe,
well,
but
it's
it sounds
true,
good
Mike.
every
It's
time.
true,
It feels
exactly.
good
I'm
every
always
time.
going to say it. He is president of Roombo Advertising and the current chair of the Chamber Marketing Committee, Mike Compton.
The best committee out there.
I agree. I'm on that committee
You
too,
are on
you
that
know.
committee.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why I
why
said
it's
it.
the best.
Yes. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy, we've got a guest.
I know.
We've got a guest.
I'm really excited
Big time
for this.
guest.
I don't know how she even made time to come see us today, but that's how amazing she is. Wait till we tell you who she is.
She's a favorite.
The executive director of Charleston Wine and Food. If you don't know Charleston Wine and Food, you are living under a rock. A native Charlestonian, raised on James Island.
Okay.
Clemson graduate with a bachelor's in communication studies, but that wasn't enough. So then she also went and got a master's degree from College of Charleston in communication.
I wanna do that.
I know, and all of this for wine and food, which I love. I think it's amazing. Everyone, please welcome our special guest today, Alyssa Smith.
Thank you so much for having me. And
We-
what an intro.
Right? It's nice. Well,
Yeah, it
this is
feels
how
really
we-
nice.
We're your cheerleaders here.
This is how we feel about you.
Yeah.
And I mean, the biggest event of the year is coming up this weekend, and you came to see us.
Well, I really care about local, and y'all seemed like a fun crowd.
Oh, we're definitely a fun crowd.
You've listened to an episode. That's nice of you.
Yeah, it's very sweet of you. Now, I am going to be embarrassed and say I've never gone. And I'm going to tell you why I've never gone. It's because I want to go to those individual at the restaurants. And
Yes.
every time I find one I like, the first thing I see is sold out. So one day I'm going to go.
Everything
But
sells out so fast.
I know, but it's because it's such an amazing event. All right, so let's
you
go.
talk about the
let's
fest?
go
Yeah.
back to what is Charleston Wine and Food, and we'll start with there, and then of course we want to hear more about how you got involved and what we got planned for this year. So
Yeah. Okay, so Charleston Wine and Foods, it's a nonprofit organization. It was formed in 2005 by a group of community members and leaders that felt like Charleston had something really special going on in the food world, and we weren't being recognized at that time at the level of other food cities. Enter New Orleans, Nashville, New York. And so they formed this nonprofit organization and established the festival to create a platform to promote Charleston, help build a culinary brand, and really bring travelers here to spend money locally and create some economic injection for the community.
what did that first one look like? Do you know?
It was smaller, and it was very much a grassroots effort at first. So a lot of community members, a lot of people who are volunteers to get it off the ground. The original kind of founding executive director and that team, that really a team of volunteers, they kept these scrapbooks. And so they did like clippings of, newspaper articles and photos from the early days and old programs. And we keep them all in our office. And I love them because I get to go back and look at, 20 years of history for the organization. And there's a front page food section of the New York Times that announced the new festival. And I feel like that was kind of the first moment that we really started to get some national recognition
Wow.
for the organization.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And of course, how it's grown, and it's 20 years.
Our 20th festival is 2026.
Okay.
Thanks to the COVID pandemic,
That's
we
right.
didn't have 21, unfortunately. And over the course of 20 years, we've done $170 million for the region.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
For the region.
Wow.
Speak more on that. What do you
Yeah.
So the Tri-County area. So we measure economic impact for the area every year. We have a great partnership with the College of Charleston or Office of Tourism Analysis. And about half of the attendees that participate and come to the festival are local, and about half of our attendees come from out of town. So if you're out of that, they define local as a 50-mile radius if you're like kind of epicenter. So that hits the Tri-County area. And then outside of that, if you're traveling over 50 miles, they assume that you're staying in a hotel and there's additional expenses that you're contributing to the local ecosystem here. So, $170 million for the area in almost 20 years, which is spectacular. And the event itself has grown and ebbed and flowed a lot as well.
And there's a different location this year too, right?
The Culinary Village, yep.
Okay.
So
tell us about the Culinary Village, because I keep hearing amazing things about that.
It's literally like a foodie playground for adults. It's often the event that people equate when you say the festival. They think you're talking about that. And that's only one of 90 events that we'll produce this weekend.
What?
Yes, 90 events
Again,
in 5 days.
And she has the time to hang out with us
and
today.
you're smiling.
I am
too.
so
And you
impressed.
look like you
I am
slept,
so
too.
impressed.
Oh my God.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
That's a really good concealer. So 90 events in 5 days for this year. Culinary Village is our largest event. It's 3 days long. It's at Johnson Haygood Stadium. And it is kind of a taste of everything we do in the festival all wrapped into one event. So food samplings, beverage samplings. We've got, wine, beer, spirits, non-alcoholic. There's grilled foods in an area called Grillin' and Chillin'. We showcase local caterers, local chefs and restaurants. And then there's some fun things to do. Our silent disco, which is arguably the best people watching in all of Charleston.
All of Charleston, yes, I agree.
If I wasn't working the event, that is where I would be standing just to hang out. We have a music stage where we have local regional acts perform daily. And then new this year, which our team is super excited about, Duke's Mayonnaise. Okay. Which, if you're a foodie, there's a feud over what mayonnaise you use.
Uh-huh.
Oh, absolutely.
What's in your cabinet?
Well, it used to be something else, but when we moved here, it became Duke's.
Duke's?
Yes.
What about you,
I
Mike?
was a Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, no.
Uh-huh.
No.
I was a
Whip-
Miracle Whip guy.
That's not
a
even
bold
mayonnaise.
statement,
Is it
too.
mayonnaise? It's like sugar cream.
Whatever.
That's it. I'm
I'm
getting
a
you a
Duke's
jar.
fan now.
I'm getting you
I'm
a
a Duke's
jar
fan.
of Duke's now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Duke's is the title partner of our demo kitchen. So we do high energy chef demonstrations every day, 3 chefs per day. They're on the Duke's stage, really fun. You get to watch them cook and hear from them, and then also taste. So Schwai from Jackrabbit Philly King Barbecue. We've got Vivian Howard, Carrie Morey from Callie's Hot Little Biscuits, Joy the Wilson, Joy the Baker. So just really spectacular talent. And if you're into cookbooks, if any of the chefs that are on the stage have a cookbook, you can get your book signed after the fact.
So do you go in and just stop at every little and just eat and drink and eat and drink and eat and drink?
Well, I don't because I'm working,
Right.
but
No, I was gonna
you were
go.
doing, then yes. So it's a sampling experience.
Right,
so
yeah.
there are small sample bites from the food. And the
Samples.
same on so you get to try a variety of things. And then the beverages are the same as well. So we have an area of wine called the Courtyard. It's about 25 different wineries that we showcase there. We have a fun section called Tippling Town, which is actually a little ode to Charleston. Charleston's known as a tippling town.
What now?
I don't know what that means.
Help me.
A
That's new for
tippling
me.
is where you're imbibing in alcoholic beverages.
We're
one of the drunkest cities in America.
Oh, and
that's
it's
something
called
to be very proud of, Charleston. Good for
Tippling.
you.
Tippling.
Tippling. We're a tippling
We've
town.
learned 2 new things
Now
today,
I know.
Mike.
Now I know.
Yeah.
This is
Thanks,
amazing.
Alyssa. This is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tippling.
And so in that section's all our spirits,
Okay.
where we showcase, spirits there.
Okay.
We have a local and regional beer garden
Yeah.
where you can try some brews. And then we have non-alcoholic too. We have several non-alcoholic wines. The non-alcoholic cocktail has definitely been a movement over the past couple of years. And it's a nice reprieve from, you can only drink so much.
I agree.
Wine
Tippling
and
so
spirits. Or you can only tipple so much.
Tipple. 2
One of
tipple.
the best words I've ever heard.
1 tipples.
That's the word of the week.
Yeah.
So as executive director, I can only imagine what goes on to putting in something like
was just gonna
putting
ask.
together something like this.
Yeah.
So
Days before.
yeah, I mean, what are the biggest challenges? At the same time, the biggest rewards of putting
Yeah.
on one of the best and well-known events in this town.
Yeah, in the country, we have people coming internationally as well. We have one of the world's 50 best restaurants, Esther's, the name of the restaurant, Sydney, Australia, coming for this event. So we bring international talent as well. It is a full year of planning this endeavor. I mean, the quantity of individuals that help to put this on is spectacular. We work with about 400 chefs.
Okay.
And beverage professionals. Wow. That includes, wineries and mixologists that we work with. We have over 200 volunteers, 150 different sponsors and partners. We have basically every vendor in town. Like, hopefully, if you have a wedding, you booked it way far in advance because we've got every
No one's
$10.
getting married next weekend or this weekend.
All the linens are at Charleston Wine and Food. So, I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a year. And I think the most rewarding piece for me is the programming. So every year we change over what the types of events are, and they're very focused on storytelling. And that's the mission and the whole point of the organization. Like, yes, it's a fun party, but we're trying to impart some sort of takeaway with our guests and really highlighting and showcasing food stories from Charleston and the Lowcountry, and it really exploration of history and what we eat and why we eat it and where it comes from. And I think it's really important for consumers to be knowledgeable with where you're eating and how you're spending your money in your local community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, especially because there's so many choices.
Yes.
Right? 100%. And you never know where to go. It's always, where do you want to eat tonight? Where do you want to eat tonight? So knowing that would certainly be a help for me too. And I wanted to clear something up, and I apologize if this was just me. So I know that it was 150 million or whatever you had mentioned before. 179 million. See, he's got a much better memory than I do. Yeah. Does that go to charity? Like, where does that money go?
So to the local economy. So when we bring people in, we're measuring, how they're spending their money at local restaurants, how they're patronizing local businesses, where they're staying with hotels. So like that money stays right here in the Charleston community and helps to build our businesses. And I think Charleston, one of the things I love so much about this town is that there's still this like diehard localism about this city. And when you spend your money with a local institution, that money stays right here and it reinvests in, potentially your neighbor or, somebody else that you have a connection with. And it helps our communities to grow and be, prosper, but also be sustainable. And I think that's something that we all learned, unfortunately, in 2020 was that ecosystem of local, I really think, helped Charleston rebound probably quicker than maybe some other cities.
Oh, my gosh, that's a good point. It's a great point. And, we're a chamber. So what you're saying is exactly what we want to hear. And what we're kind of not preaching, but screaming from the rooftops is shop local. Mm-hmm. We've got a couple of different benefits that locally, right? We got dine where you live. Mm-hmm. We got shop where you live.
And get fit where you live.
And get fit where you live. So we love the local. We love the fact that you love the local. That's why you're here, Alyssa.
Yeah, I do. Yes. I care about this community.
So Kathy suggested something about sampling.
Yeah.
Right? Not the day of, but hey, can you sample before? Like, do you know what the food is? Do you get to, even if it's a year before the show, right? Are you sampling or 6 months before? Like, a new vendor's coming in, I get to sample that.
So I have a fantastic team. I have two people on my team that really are in the nitty-gritty on the programming of our food and beverage. Cool. And they've got a really good pulse on the community here locally. What's the new, restaurant on the scene? Yeah. We're out there trying it and tasting it. And they plan and program it. Just those two individuals. There's a really small nonprofit team that puts this on. Every single chef demonstration slot. I mean, over 90 events. It's a lot of presence from local restaurants.
If they need help, you could just give them my number.
Okay.
Because I'll just go check. There's a couple of ones that I want to go try that I won't wait online for.
I have an idea.
So,
ready?
Yeah.
You probably already have this idea. You probably already do this. Do you get influencers' opinions on the food at all, or do you have like an army of tasters, or not just the two people? I'm sure because that's a lot. Mm-hmm. But do they have a committee?
They don't have a committee, but
a volunteer.
Are you
committee?
You want to be on the committee?
Oh my gosh!
We do have a very strong influencer program that happens during the festival.
Oh,
sure. And they're out and about, tasting and sharing on their social networks just to continue to, not only market the organization and the festival, but to really highlight the businesses that participate in this event, because again, that's the point, is to really showcase them. So maybe you can apply to be on that team.
And then take it to the next level, and I will take it to the next level of maybe having a blog year round of when those people do taste different restaurants, like then they write about it.
Yeah.
You know, and then now it could be just like a campaign.
Can you tell he owns a marketing company?
I see that.
Yeah. I love.
It's
Anyways,
always wheels always spinning.
Bray, you can steal that one, Bray.
I love it. So let's talk about Mount Pleasant too, because we know that the main part of the festival takes place downtown, or it's Johnson Haygood. Yes, I could never say that right for some reason. I apologize. It's first year there, correct?
It is our first year there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're excited about
it's
it.
A great location.
It's a great location, but from an event planner's perspective, the infrastructure that you have to work with at a facility like that is...
You have to bring everything in, don't you?
There's a lot of stuff there.
Oh, there is stuff there.
It's already, it's
so
okay.
Yeah, so there's been
there's
been a cool trend. Like, I don't know if either of you follow like Biz Bash and in the industry, but producing events in stadiums and arenas has kind of been like a new trend. Just as post COVID, the events industry got really hit during COVID, and expenses were just there's not a comparable before and after really. So there's been a lot of things of using stadiums and places that have infrastructure and converting them into experiential moments. Anyways, we've been excited. They come with bathrooms.
They come with kitchens. I mean, just think about what's behind the scenes instead of just taking an event like this and plopping it in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
Lighting, electricity, power.
That's amazing.
Running water. No porta potties.
Well, I'm excited for you. I think it's gonna be absolutely amazing. By the way,
so Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant, yes. So tell us how Mount Pleasant businesses can get involved, and what those kind of experiences are for those who might not have attended yet.
So we're really excited that we have a partnership with Mount Pleasant this year, Town of Mount Pleasant, Experience Mount Pleasant, and we are doing 3 kind of events at Memorial Waterfront Park. And again, back to the storytelling for us, those 3 events were specifically designed to be in that place because of where it's located. So on Thursday, we will host Shocked, and that is our oyster celebration. So it is a celebration of, steamed, raw, on the house shell, oyster farmers, wild oysters. You got some seafood mixed in between, and it really celebrates that South Carolina is one of the only East Coast states that still has a wild oyster population, and it's so important to our ecosystems here locally for hurricanes, erosion, cleaning our waters. So that takes place at that venue. On Friday, we have an event called Island Time that really explores the flavors of the Caribbean and West Africa and its influence on the food that we have here.
And these are all at Waterfront Park, I'm sorry?
And these are all at Waterfront Park.
Cool.
And so lots of really cool Caribbean chefs and Lowcountry chefs that are kind of more, I would say, lots of Gullah Geechee cuisine from the Lowcountry perspective. And then we have some chefs coming in from places like Barbados and Haiti and the Bahamas. Definitely there will be rum. And so that one is in Mount Pleasant too. And then finally, we'll cap things off at this venue on Sunday with an event called Big Shrimpin'. It's a new event for us this year, and it's a celebration of the shrimping industry and just, crustaceans in general, which obviously Mount Pleasant has a huge blessing of the fleet celebration. And with Shem Creek being right there, it's a bustling business. So that event.
Are all 3 of these new? Or have you done something like
we've
this
done? Shocked is always on the schedule.
Okay,
I feel people might uproar if that's not on the schedule.
Shucks, right?
Shocked.
Yeah. Copy.
And then Island Time we've done before. It's been a little bit, but Big Shrimpin' is brand new. We've never done it before.
Sounds very exciting.
So, and each one of these events showcases chefs sampling food, beverage. We do live music always at our events and some other fun experiences. So all of those happen in Mount Pleasant. So we have several Mount Pleasant businesses and restaurants that are participating in those. We also have the Wando High School Culinary 1 and 2 students. We have a high school partnership program that we created.
Fun.
Where we go into high schools year round and offer mentorship, elevated culinary instruction, and we have an externship program for culinary high school students in CCSD and D2. And so the Wando students you'll see out there. So if you are out and about and you see any in their chef coats, they're really excited to be talent in the festival. So hi, and
that's amazing.
Love that.
Yeah, it's a cool program.
What a great way to bring the community in, and of course, to give support to the future of this industry that means so much to this area.
100%.
And we want to keep them here. We don't want them to leave.
Speaking about the young talent here, this might be a good question. Is like what for the future too, right? So our succession plan, like 5-10 years down the road, what does that look like?
Yeah, so the high school program we started as an initiative for us of, the festival offers such a great platform to celebrate, and really it can be a launching pad for careers for individuals. But what does that long-term sustainability look like, and how are we regenerating the next wave of talent? So we have a scholarship program and at the collegiate level, and then we have this high school scholars program at the high school level. So hopefully not just offering, on-the-job training for these individuals that participate, but really inspiring them of like, this could be a career and you could see yourself in this career. And the festival, I think, is the perfect platform for that because so many different industries come together within culinary and hospitality to pull this event off. Yeah. So you get a microcosm of exposure to so many different fields and avenues you could take within culinary and hospitality.
Cool. That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Amazing. What about the festival in 5 to 10 years? Where is it? How are you growing? Are you still going to be doing it?
Are you going to run out of room soon?
Oh, gosh. I don't know if my board is listening.
How big is your board, by the way?
I have 15 people on my board.
15. You have to be a foodie to be on your board. You have to have a certain, No,
I guess everybody has some sort of like passion for food, but we have a pretty diverse background of industries on the board, which is helpful in the planning and kind of moving forward. I think the future of Charleston Wine and Food, we're really passionate about the high school and scholarship programs that we have. So leaning into that to continue to cultivate like the next generation of talent is a big component for us. We also, last year is our first year, we launched a summer collection of events called the Summer Sizzle. We're doing that again. People loved it. So that will be in May, June, and July. It's a small little collection of events. Charleston Summer is the muse. For those of you who might not be from here, you're like, oh, it's so hot. I literally thrive. Like Charleston Summer is my spirit animal. I love it. Oh. And from a food perspective, we really had the opportunity to explore other ingredients that aren't just oysters and root vegetables that we have in March, like lots of really fresh seafood, lots of really beautiful produce. So bringing that and finding ways to showcase some of those stories in the summer. So really looking to doing some like more year-round experiences. Of course, the festival will always be like a mainstay for the organization.
And it is always the first week of March?
It's always the first weekend of March. Yep. And that was by design. I mean, in 2005, it was dubbed like shoulder season, like tourist season was in the summer months. So they wanted to create something that would bring people to town and want to, spend money here locally to support the community.
Shoulder season?
Yeah.
You're teaching me so much right now.
Are you writing all this down?
I am.
Okay,
Tippling.
good, because you're gonna get tested on it.
Yeah.
And then tell us a little bit about the individual restaurant events, like I was talking about before. Oh, yeah. So because you've got the huge culinary experience, and then if you go on to your website, you have all these individual restaurants that host all these special dinners or luncheons or brunch. Tell me, how do you get
favorite part here?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of people's favorite part.
That is just as important as the main culinary event, I'm sure. And how do you get involved in that?
Yeah, so we do a series called our Signature Dinners, and those are, the format is a host restaurant here locally, and their culinary team host an out-of-town chef talent. So we work one-on-one with the chefs here locally, and they give us like a short list of like, oh, it would be amazing if I got, Michael Anthony from Grand Mercy Tavern or Andrew Carmelini or some of these chef names that they would love to collaborate. And then we court and pitch them to come to Charleston to participate. So even though you may have been to, eat at Vern's before, the Vern Signature Dinner during Charleston Wine and Food is like a one-night only experience because you get to not only have that host restaurant experience, but the out-of-town collaboration. And so they come up with a menu that's unique to that night, which is really fun.
And that's why you can't get tickets. Because I remember, I want to say it was 2 years ago. I could be wrong, but I believe it was 2 years ago. I'm the marketing director of Town Center, and of course we have Malika that opened.
Yep.
And Miriam was walking around, and she's with somebody, and I'm looking at her, and I'm walking around, I'm going, I almost felt like so starstruck because it was, I
Manit. It was. I remember that.
And I'm like, I remember
dinner.
it was like I was
Were you
seeing
there?
a superstar. No, I couldn't get in.
I wasn't there either, but
Okay.
I hear the stories from that dinner, and it was so Miriam and Manit, Pakistani and Indian culture, and the whole entire dinner was a discussion about really the divide between their two cultures. And so for each course, I'm going to get teary-eyed talking about it. Manit wrote a letter to Miriam. And then Miriam wrote a letter to Manit, and they didn't read the letters until the dinner. And so the course would come out, and they would read it on behalf of the other chef that represented, the feelings of that culture. I was not there, but I heard there was like literally not a dry eye in the restaurant of like how impactful. And I think that really shows the power that food has to like bridge differences and give us a platform to talk about hard things and cultures. So yeah, Miriam always comes up with like the best concept. Her event that she has on the schedule this year is a Pakistani brunch. There'll be a traditional Pakistani dance. She really brings in, a full sensory experience beyond just the food. So
that reminds me of the transformation table.
Yes, she does a great job. Tina does a great job with that as well.
Yeah, I was able to experience that. What an amazing 100-person long table, all different types of people there.
Yep.
It's cool because she doesn't seat you with your people that
Correct.
you came with. You sit somewhere else separately. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's more of an experience than a meal.
So those are the dinners. We have lunches and brunches, and the lunches and brunches don't typically have a guest chef component. They're more for the local restaurant to shine, and we bring in a beverage component. So a lot of them have a winemaker or a distiller or a brewer. There's 20 dinners on the schedule this year and 20 lunches and brunches.
And they're probably all sold out, aren't they?
There's a couple that still have tickets. The Dewberry on Friday night had tickets available. The best place to go is to the website, and you can click available. And we publicize when the schedule goes live every year, and that you got to buy tickets on launch day because some of the restaurants are small. Like we had a dinner this year, or we'll have a dinner with Michael Toscano. It's only 10 seats. So like
if you want to go, you better get that real fast.
It just goes quickly. So launch day is the best to buy the in-restaurant experiences.
And remind us, when is that typically then?
It's typically in October, around
That's
the third week.
Okay.
So we haven't announced the 2026 festival launch date yet, but it will be in October, and we'll announce it on our channels.
And it's funny because my wedding anniversary is March 8th. So every year that I've been here 9 years. This is my 10th year here. I've always said, I really want to go to one of those for my wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's fun.
And then I put it on my calendar. Right? In October, they're going live. I'm working. Something happens. And then by the time I remember to go buy the tickets to that restaurant I want to go to, they're gone.
Oh, yeah.
This year.
They hawk the site. They're on the site, like
year,
ready to go.
FYI, there are shrimpin' and chef tickets still.
Oh, awesome. That's good to know, too.
Thank
Fantastic.
you, Amanda. Amanda just let us know.
Yeah, I don't even have to go downtown for that, which is even better.
What did Amanda just say?
The shucked and shrimpin' tickets are still available.
Still available.
Yeah.
All right, listeners.
But I want Amanda. Your job next year is to remind me.
Oh, it's your job.
I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask Alyssa to do it because she's too busy. To remind me to get on my computer that morning and get something.
Speaking of too busy, let's get you back to work. I'm sure some people are waiting for you.
I'm sure. I did want to ask her a couple fun questions.
I was hoping you would say that.
Okay,
yes.
and then before we let you get back,
Exactly.
because, and I'm not going to make you like pick your favorite chef or anything because that's not nice.
They're all my favorite.
I know exactly. We love them all. Everybody makes the best food in the world. But are there any fun, like any kind of behind the scenes stories or something that's happened in the past couple of years that is just really funny or meaningful or kind of like what you just told us about
I have a good
Manit,
story.
but I'd love to hear another one.
You want me to tell you a story about a chicken?
I love chicken.
Dear.
A buck? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Have you ever heard of chicken shit bingo?
No.
It's a concept out of Texas. There's a guy named Dale that has started this concept, and it's chickens, and they literally poop on a bingo board.
Get the F out of here.
And if you put in your dollar for that,
What?
it's a thing. It's a thing. And so we did a version. This has been a long time ago, but John Lewis is from Texas.
Okay.
And where chicken shit bingo is apparently rampant. And so he wanted to bring the actual singer to Charleston that created it. And so we had Dale here.
Singer?
Dale. And he's country singer. And then we did a chicken shit bingo. We had a bingo board. It's about, 40 minutes before doors open. And our culinary programming manager at the time came up and was like, we don't have a chicken.
Because you got the flu?
Because I guess somebody forgot to get the chicken.
Oh,
they had plenty of chicken to cook, just none to play the game, I guess.
And so we were like, well, what are we going to do? And she was like, I know a guy. She made a call, but there wasn't enough time for one of us to go there and back. So we called an Uber to go pick up the chicken.
Get out of here.
And so the woman with the chicken came out with the chicken in a Rubbermaid and put it in the front seat of the Uber. And he said, what is this? And she said, this is the chicken. This is what you're Ubering. This is your ride. And this chicken needs to get down to the John Lewis barbecue event stat for Charleston Wine and Food. The chicken arrived about 15 minutes before the event. And we pulled the chicken shit bingo off.
Oh,
so
that is the
that's
most
just
amazing.
like a
Chicken didn't need to be trained at all? There was no training the chicken?
It just
There's
poops
No.
wherever it wants
Yeah.
to, right? Yeah.
Is that a fence right here? A fence? Like, it's not a
yeah.
free-range chicken? Oh, I might get in trouble with that.
Yeah, I know. Now that I'm saying this on this podcast, I'm like, oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't have shared that one. But
No, that's hysterical. I absolutely
love it.
I
love
just
it.
feel like that's like
can't
event
wait.
planning in
I
a
gotta look that
nutshell.
up.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Well,
you
my
like
favorite part is
plan.
that the chicken was Ubered. I mean,
Yeah.
that is
That's a good one.
when it
too.
comes. You
we
guys
had to be efficient.
Yeah, you needed to get that done, and
You
you
guys
got
are
that
so
chicken
funny.
down there. That's
You
hysterical.
probably have a really cool
I love
crew
it.
and, like,
I have a great team. I have a really great team. It's a labor of love to put on this event though, because event planning, you plan and then you have plan B, and then maybe you do plan C or D.
I won't
Like
make
things
you.
just always go.
I won't make you go ahead, and I won't make you talk about last year and your plans. You
Yeah,
had to
there were
change, I'm sure.
lots of changes and ebbs and flows. And this year we have, we learned a lot from that circumstance of, I never realized I would be planning for an event in the spring that could potentially happen with hurricane level weather.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like we're really prepared for this year after learning that. And I immediately checked the tide chart when we put the tickets on sale to see if it was a king tide or not. And it is not a king tide. So
Very, very smart.
No kidding.
My other question, and again, you don't have to give. I don't need to know a restaurant or chef.
okay.
But if there's one dish from the festival every year that you could eat for the rest of your life, is there one? Like, is there a dish that you've had that is just like,
Amazing.
yeah, like the best thing you've ever eaten?
Oh, gosh. Okay, there's two things that come to mind. One doesn't exist anymore. Fat Hen on John's Island. I miss it all the time. They had this homemade bread pudding with a home-spun cinnamon ice cream. Oh, it was like delight. And Chef Fred knew I liked the bread pudding. And when I was pregnant with my first son, I ate that all the time.
Oh.
He'd be like the pregnant lady that would call up and be like, is the bread pudding on the menu
that's
tonight? Because
great.
that
I
was going to
love it.
determine whether I came there or not. That I would say. And then there's another dish. And I don't know if it's been back on the menu again. It's been years. But Jacques Larson of The Obstinate Daughter had this foie gras capelletti that was just like pillows of absolute joy in your mouth. I will never forget that.
Apparently not. I love that.
Yeah.
Listen, my husband and I love to eat, and we go all over Mount Pleasant, Johns Island. We're downtown, and every time I go to a restaurant and I have a meal, it's the best meal I've ever had. Mm-hmm. And then we say we're coming back here again, and then we never go back because we found the next favorite place that we're going to go to. What a hard life to live, right?
I know.
I mean, just to make the decision of where we're going to go eat is like, we know, I don't think I've ever been disappointed in any restaurant I've ever had.
No,
here,
we're very
ever.
lucky.
All right, so tell us again, where can we get tickets? Remind us a little bit more about this weekend that's coming up, and then we'll let you get back to work.
Yeah, so we'll kick things off on Wednesday evening for opening night at the Cistern, and Culinary Village Friday still had tickets available, and maybe a couple on Sunday. Sunday is Locals Day, so if you live here and you check out with a 294 zip code, you get $40 off your
Oh,
ticket.
wow. That's great to know.
The Mount Pleasant events, I would check out Island Time and Big Shrimpin', and if you go to charlestonwineandfood.com, click on the schedule. That's going to show you the latest and greatest of what's available. All of our stuff's online. So even if it's day of and you're like, hey, I just think I might want to go to the Culinary Village today, check the website and see if you could get the ticket. And if the ticket's available, come have a good time with us.
A tippling, good time.
A good tippling, good time.
And then, of course, when it's over on Sunday, you get Monday off, and then you have to start again working on Tuesday,
I really
right?
feel like the mayor should make Monday like an
holiday?
actual holiday for all Charlestonians to like recover.
I think that's a good. Listen,
probably get Mayor Haney to do something. Like
yeah,
that.
maybe we could
I
get Mayor
think we're
Haney
gonna
to
have
do
a
that.
little-
A proclamation on Monday.
We'll start a story. We got to get everyone to sign a petition. We'll get that taken care of for you. Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us here today. Again, if anyone like me has not been there, you need to go. And
you're going this year.
I'm going to go this year. I'm going to go this year.
There, yes,
I am. I 99% promise you that I'm going to go this year.
I think Gray offered us tickets. I don't know what. Maybe not. Maybe that was a different thing.
That was a different thing.
I'm just throwing Bray under the bus. She didn't see.
Listen, it's amazing.
I'm still waiting for that email.
I've heard incredible things about it. It obviously sells out every year. Be a part of it. It's part of. You live here. It's part of Charleston, and it's because of Alyssa, the way it's grown and everything that's been going on here. So we're really honored to have spent this time with you.
Well, thank you.
And of course, we hope this weekend is going to be just as amazing as it always is. Get your tickets now to this weekend's Charleston Wine and Food Festival. Thank you so much, Alyssa. And before we leave, we need to thank our sponsors.
Yeah, we need to thank our sponsors, the Charleston Media Solutions, and also DK Design. You can get a hold of DK Design at designdkd.com. They created a lot of marketing material for us, like our banner that we have here. I'm motioning to the banner, if you can see it, listeners. On
it's
YouTube.
there. I can see it. Thank you, DK Design. Thank you for everyone here at Charleston Media Solutions. Brian, we always love working with you. Thank you. Thank for everyone listening today. Until next time, Mount Pleasant. Until next time, listeners.